What's up, guys? So for this week's video, I'm gonna be doing another tool review. This is a tool that I didn't necessarily know kind of existed, and I did a little research on it before buying it because it kind of intrigued me right out the gate. But I wanted to do more research before buying one, and I can kind of see some uses for this, especially in specific trades. Not only in automotive related, but I can also kind of see this in other trade purposes like electrical, and various other trades as well. But again, I didn't know that this tool existed until honestly a couple of days ago. I happened to come across a video of this specific tool, and I decided that was kind of cool, and I wanted to research it a little bit, and I did, and I ended up picking one up. I wanted to not only pick it up for myself, but I wanted to pick it up for you guys, because I know there's quite a few of y'all that watch my content, and this might, if I didn't know about it, it's possible that you guys didn't know about it either. But the tool in question, you can find these through various companies. I picked this one up at one of my local stores. But the tool we're talking about is actually a cable tie gun. And this one is an all metal construction. It has a plastic handle. Anything that's yellow is plastic. I found these in all metal construction and what have you. This is kind of what the back of it looks like here, just as a picture reference. I have already taken this out of the package and played with it a little bit, just so that I kind of understood how it worked a little bit better, because watching a video on something versus using it is always a little bit different, obviously. So essentially what this is for if you need to tighten down a zip tie. The ideal of it is if you need to tighten down a zip tie in a very tight location that you might not be able to get your hands into or what have you. But essentially what you do is, and I've already played with this a little bit. I brought us a power cord here, just to be able to use, just to kind of show you. So if we pretended that this one cable was a giant bundle of wire and we needed to zip tie this guy closed, what you do is you take your zip tie and you just run it through your loop as usual. Run that little tail through that slot, and what you do is you tighten this down like this, right? So by hand that's already as tight as I could get it, but if I couldn't get to this or I needed this tighter, there's this little notch right there, and as you see when you pull that trigger, it kind of grabs it, right? So what we'll do is you slot that into there, into that little grabber, like so, and then it will pull as the face of the gun actually pulls back. So now you can kind of hear it tightening, and then once it gets as tight as it can, it actually cuts that off. Cuts it off for you. Now that one's not necessarily the cleanest cut. You can make this to where when it cuts, it's at a nice clean cut. And what I've figured out with this, because I played with it again, is if you look on the handle here, there's a wheel. You can see it on both sides here. And I don't know if I can pick that up on camera or not, but that little window has number, like little number indicators in it, and it's on 1, and it goes all the way up to 3. And so the more you crank that handle, the more tension it puts on it to be able to allow you to have essentially a tighter pull on your zip tie. So that was on 1. Let's put it on 2 and see how 2 works. I'm not a big fan of necessarily wasting zip ties, but I think for educational purposes, we're gonna let it slide this one time. Um, so like I said, we're gonna go ahead and I'll put this one in the opposite direction, so you see there's the head of that one, here's the head of this one, so we can see the differences and what number the second setting does. So we're gonna say that's as tight as I can get it just for this purpose. Slide that back in there like so, pull on it, and now that's the one I just did. You can kind of see there's a little bit of a head right there, not much, but that's a lot less than that one. This one is a lot less of that sticking out or protruding versus that one. So essentially the idea being is that, so if I take the original one, I can kind of spin it a little bit like so. That second one should be tighter, so it should be harder to, yeah, it's a lot harder to kind of turn. It does still turn, but it's quite harder. So now you would say, you know, obviously, why would I need that tool for something like this? Well, I don't think you would necessarily need it for something like this, but let me put you in a scenario that I think it would be ideal for. So one, if you use a lot of zip ties, having that built-in cutter is one thing. Getting a zip tie as tight as you possibly can is beneficial, but I think this is more directed toward, so like if I was up underneath the dash of a car or somewhere like behind a taillight in a truck or something, and I need a bunch of wires bundled together so I can keep a nice clean uniform look, but I can't really get both of my big old hands in there. If I can get the tip of the little end of the zip tie right there so that I can get that tension on it, then allow that to kind of pull through until it can't pull no more to get the tightest thing to where I know those wires can't come unloose, but also the fact that it has a cutter built into it. So it's not really a cutter per se. What it essentially does is there's not a blade on this. And I thought about this because I thought maybe originally that it just like clamped down. And I don't know if I could pick that up. That you see the gap here, the bottom and then the top. That top edge has a little bit of a serration on it. It's angled and it's kind of sharpened there. And I think what essentially it does is this kind of moves where this is offset a little bit. It kind of pulls it uphill. And when it gets to a certain tension, it's pulling it at enough of an angle that it's allowing it between the pull and the edge of that serration there to cut that zip tie off. So again, if I was up underneath the dash of a car or whatever, I think this would be more beneficial. Now, obviously, you don't necessarily need this tool for stuff like that. You can simply take, and I did have a set here with me. You could essentially take like a pair of cutters, or not cutters, wire cutters, or a pair of needle nose pliers, and achieve the same effect. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want to use something like this, but this is the first thing I could grab. But essentially, you could do the exact same thing. I mean, if you had a pair of needle nose pliers or something that had a built-in cutter on it, you could achieve the exact same effect in the sense that, you know, fresh zip tie, we want to zip tie this bundle together. So then, same thing, get it as tight as we can like this, right? And then take our pliers and we're going to go up against the head and we're going to pull in one direction or the other, either up or down, while keeping that head stationary as much as possible. But you can see, like right now, if I needed this tightened, that's kind of hard to do. Like, and you just keep pulling them. You can either, you can pull down, or you can choke up on it. You can pull upwards, what have you, to get that nice and tight. And then if you had your built-in cutters with it, then you would obviously just cut it off. And that's fine, but I think I see the practicalness in this, because one-handed operation, and I've just installed my zip tie, especially in a tight area. Again, I don't think this is something that everybody needs, but I think if you're like a tool collector or something, that's obviously one thing, because this is kind of a niche item. But also, if you do a lot of electrical work, and you need to get stuff done rather quickly, and you don't want to grab a pair of pliers and cutters and pull and tug as tight as you can. I mean, to be able to grab a zip tie, zoom zoom cut, zoom zoom cut, zoom zoom cut as fast as you can, I see the benefit in it. And again, these aren't very expensive. I picked this one up at Menards, and it was like $10. And that's actually that number right there, 3640032. That's the item number for this. So you could just simply go there and type in that number on their website and find it, or you can go to the store and look it up. You can also get these on Amazon. They range anywhere between $8 and $15, depending on the materials that they're made out of. They all do the exact same thing. There's not one that's different than the other. Based on the research that I've done, they all tighten the same way. They all cut the same way. They're all just like this. The only difference you're going to run into is where this one has all internal metal with a plastic casing on it. I guess for comfort purposes, you can get this in an all metal version. I know Harbor Freight has this as well. Harbor Freight has an all metal one, no plastic. It's like $20. I would say if it's something that you're going to use a lot, then you're going to be using it very hard, then yeah, you might go with the metal one. I don't know, because like I said, again, they're all pretty much built the same. The only thing that this one has that the metal ones don't is a plastic casing on the outside, and it's not to even hold anything together. I think it's just for comfort, just so that you're not dealing with uncomfortable metal edges and all that stuff. But yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool little item, kind of a niche thing. But I thought it might be something that you guys might be interested in knowing, that apparently it is a thing that does exist. I have quite a few projects coming up in the near future, and I think this is something that's going to help me get through those projects quite a bit more efficient than it would if I didn't have it, in the sense that I'm not out here pulling them by hand as tight as I can possibly get it, and then I got to reach for a pair of cutters and all that. That's all into that. And I mean, yes, it does leave, in this case it did leave a few little tails hanging out, but those are smooth. Like, they're not sharp. Like, you're not accidentally gonna, like, I'm digging into that and it's not even hurting my finger at all. So that's definitely a plus for me, because when you start wiring stuff, you never know, you might have to get back in there or be around it quite often, and then if that's the case, then at some point you may scrape it across your arm. You might not necessarily cut yourself, but it is very uncomfortable, and it kind of sucks when you cut yourself or even scrape yourself. That's quite convenient. So I see the benefits of it. I can kind of see where it's kind of, for lack of a better term, I can kind of see it being a little bit gimmicky, in the sense that if you have full access to whatever you're zip tying, you might not necessarily need it. Like, I did this just because I had it laying around the other day and I was playing with it just to see how it all functioned. And I mean, I was trying to different tensions, just putting zip ties on my pry bar. And so this one here that you can see, I'm actually sliding and loosening with ease. That was level 1. And then this one that I can't really slide up the bar at all was like level 2. This one up here, I can't get it to move left or right. I can get it to spin, obviously, because it's on a smooth surface. But you can see, let me spin that around so you can get a little bit better view of it. You can see there's basically no head on that at all. And that is the 3rd level. But this was just me playing around with the other day, trying to get a feel for it. But yeah, not a long video, but I think that you might get some benefit from it, in the sense at least you know it's something that exists. Again, there's a tool for every job. It's just finding that said tool or creating that said tool yourself. But yeah, that's it for this one. As always, I appreciate you guys coming back week after week. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here for a while, again, I appreciate you coming back every single week that I post. And again, if you're new, I try to post something. I usually post on Wednesdays. If not Wednesdays, it's usually posted by no later than early Tuesdays. That's for full-length videos. For shorts, they're kind of sporadic and all over the place. I don't necessarily always plan for my shorts. Some of them just kind of happen when they happen. So those I don't have a set date necessarily. Those are just something that I think is interesting and or something that you might enjoy seeing. So those can pretty much come out when they come out. But yeah, again, that's it for this one. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.